Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 6:30, and I will call this regular meeting of the Burnsville City Council to order. It is our tradition to stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and we invite you to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have announcements for our upcoming meetings, and tonight is a very special night for us here in Burnsville because we are in I Love Burnsville Week, and we'll make some awards also, but I'll get to that in a moment. But I'd like to announce that our regular council meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, June 18th at 6:30 p.m., and our Tuesday, July 2nd meeting is canceled, and because we don't have a quorum. Most of us are going to either be out of town. I'm going to be a grandma for the first time, and I have to schedule my trip at that time, and then others are also going to be gone to pick up sons and daughters from overseas and bringing them home, and so we don't have a quorum, but Ms. Faulkner, I don't think we have a lot because I see that the Planning Commission meeting was also canceled because we don't have any applications coming before us at that time.
That's correct, Madam Mayor.
And so it's the first time in all the years that I've been on the council that we're canceling a meeting. So July 2nd meeting is canceled. We have a work session that's scheduled for Tuesday, June 11th at 6:30 p.m. All meetings are held here in the council chambers. So, members of the council, I am going to make those awards from that side. And Mr. Raker from U.S. Federal Credit Union, please come up. He is our partner with I Love Burnsville essay contest. And every year we ask the third graders of our community, invite all third graders from all over the elementary schools to submit a single-page essay focusing on completing the sentence, I love Burnsville because, as part of our 6th annual I Love Burnsville Week. And this event is sponsored by U.S. Federal Credit Union, and so we really appreciate that you're always here as our partner. And Mr. Raker's colleague, Mr. Kelly, and I, along with one of our staff members, go through reading all of the essays and then bringing them down to 3. And the top 3 are the winners, so they're not in first, second, or third. And each of them get a cash award, and the teacher also gets a cash award for her classroom. So you see, it's not only for the student, but for all of the other students within that classroom, because the teacher also receives the cash award. And when we look at these essays, we look for content. No, I love Burnsville because, but the content, the creativity, and we also judge grammar and how they present their thoughts. Next year, when we do this, so the teachers, if they're present, we're also going to look at penmanship, because I think it's very important when you look at somebody's penmanship. So we're hoping that our children can continue to be able to not only put their thoughts together, have grammar, can spell, but can also write, whether print or cursive. So, but we think it's very, very exciting. So, Mr. Raker, we have some really talented young people that we're presenting tonight. And you've seen the work that they've done because Mr. Raker was traveling, and so, but he gets to see the essays as well. And so, Mr. Raker, shall we call all of them up at the same time, or do you want them one at a time with your checks?
We could do it either way, maybe one at a time, and then get all three of them together with a photograph
With a photo.
of you.
Okay, very good. So the first recipient goes to Caitlin Eisenberger with Mrs. Ingalls' class from Sioux Trail. So if Caitlin and Mrs. Eisenberger can come up, please. Is your teacher here, Caitlin? Yes. So teacher, please come up. Because you also are a recipient. So, and Caitlin is going to read her essay.
I love Burnsville. I love Burnsville because it's a great place to live. You have great neighbors that could dog sit, babysit, and play with. I feel I'm safe in my neighborhood. I don't know why you wouldn't want to live in Burnsville. I also love Burnsville because of the Dakota County Library. I enjoy checking out books like The Littles, Rainbow Fairies, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and The Boxcar Children. In Burnsville, I also love going to Black Dog Park. I love going down slides with my brother and sister. When I swing, I feel like a bird flying higher and higher, so high that it's hard to stop. I also like climbing and a bunch more. I love Burnsville because of Buck Hill. You can ski, go tubing, buy things, and sit by the warm, hot fire. My favorite thing is to go tubing. When I get cold, I get some cocoa and relax by the fire until I want to go back tubing. There is a cool ramp you go up. You really just stand on a moving platform and go up. I think it's a really long ride up, but it's worth it. I love Burnsville, and I hope you do too.
Thank you, Caitlin. Mrs. Engel, thank you so much. Congratulations, and congratulations, Mrs. Engel. So,
Yes, could I just say, I read the essay, and the two things that really struck me, I'd like to repeat, where Caitlin said, I don't know why you would not want to live in Burnsville. And I love Burnsville, and I hope you do too. So Caitlin, we have a little certificate for you, okay? And here is a check for $50, and we invite you to open a savings account at U.S. Federal with that. And then there will be a check in the mail going to your teacher in your classroom later this week.
okay.
Congratulations.
So you turn
Yeah,
around.
let's get a picture.
Mrs. Engel?
1, 2, 3, and then up here one more time. On 3, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Mrs. Engel. Thank you so much. Nice. Thank you, Kate. Our next two recipients come from William Byrne Elementary, and so if we'll ask both Zoe Dundon and with Mrs. Hanson's class, and Mrs. Hanson, are you also present? Yes. Oh, good. Please come up. And Teresa Lebu. So Teresa. But we'll make sure that you get a special picture all by yourself. So did you bring your essay?
They said that they'd have the essay here for us.
Oh.
Well, I happen to have it
Yeah,
right here.
we have.
Let's see. This
Oh, they're right
Zoe,
here.
Yeah, right there.
We have yours. Zoe, here's your essay. But do you want to read it out of that or here?
Whichever one you like.
Okay.
I love Burnsville because you can play here. I love to play at the heart of the city. While there, I play in the water, meet new friends, have picnics, and watch movies. I also love to play in the parks. I love exploring in the woods. Burnsville has a beautiful wildlife, like deer, rabbits, squirrels, and birds, foxes, and coyotes. In summer, I love to scooter and bike around the neighborhood and on trails at Terrace Oaks Park. In winter, I like to Nordic ski and play hockey at Terrace Oaks. I love to play with friends and neighbors at Vildu Park and love to play and learn with friends at William Byrne School. I love to play sports like soccer and hockey. I play sports in my backyard. I play for the Burnsville Fire. I play for hockey at U10B. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Congratulations, Zoe. And again, what struck me in your essay was the way you concluded it. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. So congratulations to you. Here's a certificate for you. Here's a check for $50. We invite you to open a savings account at U.S. Federal.
Come over here, Teresa. So we're going to take a picture with Zoe and
Just Zoe and her
Mrs.
teacher.
Yes.
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 On 3, 1, 2, 3. And we'll do one more up here on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Great, thank you. And stay up here, Mrs. Nancy, because you have another student. And now we have Teresa. Teresa.
Okay, I love Burnsville because Burnsville brings my heart to life. I love coming to the Burnshaven Library because happiness comes to me when I start to read. Also, the librarians are always so nice and always willing to help me find a book just perfect for me. In my beloved William Brent Elementary School, my friends come from all over the world and I enjoy learning about their cultures and traditions. The teachers there are so kind and make learning fun and interesting. I love the heart of the city because the water parks there are so fun to play in when you're so hot and you just want to cool off. Another thing I love about Burnsville is the heart of the city. Movie night, because I love relaxing with my family while watching a movie. Burnsville means everything to me.
Congratulations, Teresa. And what struck me from your essay was the way you started it and the way you ended it. You said, Burnsville brings my heart to life. Isn't that great? And then you say Burnsville means everything to me, with an exclamation part and two little hearts that you drew at the end of it. So that's wonderful. Here's your certificate, and here's your check for $50. And I invite you to open an account at U.S. Federal. And there will be checks in the mail to your teacher for your classroom later this week.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so
Mrs.
Thank you.
Hanson, nice
Congratulations.
You have 2 recipients.
I
Yes.
have wonderful
Yeah,
students.
okay.
Get your pictures.
Yes. Okay.
Now right up here on 3, 1, 2, 3. And one more on 3, 1, 2, 3.
And could we get a group picture of
Yes,
all of them?
now Zoe and Caitlin and Mrs. Engel. Okay. Yes.
Do you want to go in the middle and get the whole count?
Sure, and the council too,
That would
and
be great, wouldn't
Mrs. Faulkner. Come on, everybody, this way. So that'll be get everybody. That was wonderful. And you too have won in the past too, both of you. You had students from the past. Very well done. I think each time when we look at this, oh, the grammar is really good. Spelling too. And penmanship. Yes, yes.
All right, get everybody to look this way on 3, smile. 1, 2, 3. And one more time on 3, say cheese. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Thank you. Congratulations. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce to all of you our communications coordinator, Marty Dahl, who is going to be making the awards for the video contest. Mr. Dahl.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. We've got something kind of different going on today. The I Love Burnsville Week contest, video contest, was something that Burnsville Community Television tried out for the first time this year, something we hadn't done. We've talked about doing a video contest in the past and thought what better time to do it than during I Love Burnsville Week. Kind of did it for 2 reasons, to raise more awareness of I Love Burnsville Week and some of that excitement, and then to also help raise some awareness of Burnsville Community Television and some of our great community sponsors who helped us with this video contest this year. So earlier this spring, we asked residents, students, and people who live and work in Burnsville to tell BCTV in 30 seconds or less using video why they love Burnsville. Thanks to our community sponsors, the Burnsville Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Burnsville Chamber of Commerce, and Porter Creek Hardwood Grill, we also got a lot of good prizes to kind of incentivize people to enter the contest. Our great, generous community sponsors donated $300 worth of gift cards to local businesses to give out to these winners tonight. So thank you again to them, and I know that a few representatives are here. They also helped BCTV judge the videos. So. We've notified our 3 winners, but this will be the first that they found out if they've won first, second, or third. So it's going to be a surprise to them as well tonight. So what I think I'll do is I'll announce our winners one at a time. I'll play their video, and then I'll ask our winner and then our representatives from BCTV and any of our community sponsors that are here to come up, snap a photo with the council, and we'll do that with all 3, and then at the end we'll bring everybody together to take another photo. So without further ado, I announce the 3rd place winner of our inaugural I Love Burnsville video contest, Scott Svari. And if you'd like to, Madam Mayor, present the certificate and the award. And we'll just bring everybody over to the middle and snap a quick photo.
Scott, congratulations. Nicely done. How long did it take you?
Not too long.
Not too long. So, and thank you. So,
And then let's get our group here, and then if you guys just want to huddle together, we'll snap our photo.
everybody, Jenny. He's holding.
Everybody smile on 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do one more on 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Our second place winner and receiving $100 in gift cards. I should note that our third place winner received $50 in gift cards to local businesses. Our second place winner receiving $100 in gift cards to local businesses is Joy.
Okay, and then we'll.
Nice. All in the parts. Really nice.
Yeah.
Everybody smile on 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3.
All right. That was a cool one.
And I know that takes some of the suspense away to our first place winner, since he knows he's the last person left sitting in the room. But congratulations to our first place winner and receiving $150 in gift cards to local businesses, Andrew Brinkman.
My name is Andrew Brinkman, and this is what I love about Burnsville.
Great video, great music. So serious.
You incorporated both the seasons.
Oh,
Everybody smile on 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more time on 3. 1, 2, 3. And then if we could get our other 2 winners up and just do a group photo with everybody.
Marty, can you have someone take that, the picture, and you come in the photo?
What's that?
Can you have someone take that and you come into this photo?
Sure.
Your brainchild. We must, you know.
All right, 1, 2, 3, and again, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
So again, congratulations to our 3 winners. Thank you again to our sponsors who helped with our fabulous prizes. We will also be playing all 3 of these videos before the Friday night movie at Friday Fest out at Cliff Fen Park this Friday during I Love Burnsville Week. So we'll put them up on the big screen, and you can also view them on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/City of Burnsville MN. Thank you.
Thank you. And also, members of the council and citizens of Burnsville, we also started this year with I Love Burnsville, the whole concept of acts of kindness. And then we have cards that when you do an act of kindness, give that person the card and ask them to pass it forward. The whole concept is that we don't need a tragic event for us to care about one another, that we can do it every day. And why not start with I Love Burnsville? And so we started that when we had the 5K races, when we started I Love Burnsville Week. And a lot of our faith community, who is also our partners, were out there and had a good time. And so, but also we want you to share your stories at www.iloveburnsville.blogspot.com. And so the idea is, let's be kind to one another and show compassion. So we have some cards. People can take them and pass it along. So it's fun. We'll move on. The next item on the agenda is citizens' comments. This is the opportunity for anyone in the audience to address the council on an item that is not on the printed agenda, not an application form that will be coming before us at a future date. Is there anyone who wishes to address the council? Yes, please come forward. Give us your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Brad Berg, and I'm with Hughes again.
Good evening, Mr. Berg.
Hi.
Yes.
I wanted to come by and see if we could maybe put together a work session for recycling. Right now, there's 4,258,000 pounds of textiles being put into landfills in Burnsville. And we would like to reduce that number, and only 15% is being recycled right now. And I know I've seen on your website that environment is important, and right now there's 7 pounds of CO2 gases with every t-shirt being made. So if we could reduce that, that would help with the lakes and ponds and things like that. So I noticed on the way into town, I wasn't aware that you have open dumpsters now. And ours are much smaller than the dumpsters. They're only 4x4, and they're more decorative than dumpsters. The school wants to do a campaign right now, and we do resource sharing with the school. So it'd be something we could help fund the school a little bit, and wouldn't cost the taxpayers anything. I know Dakota Valley wants to do some recycling also, and right now they really can't. So if you're totally opposed to bins, another way we could do it is we could bring a truck out, say once a month, and do pickups, large pickups, where the citizens could bring their textiles to one location, and we could do it that way also. But we'd prefer, especially mainly in the school case, if we could put one, even if it's right by a dumpster, something like that, just to help the school out, because middle schools and high schools go through a lot of clothes. So I do have an amendment to the ordinance that we've used in hundreds of different communities, and I'll pass that out along with a book on some of the stuff we've done. So.
Thank you, Mr. Berg.
bet.
We will get back to you. I think you have been communicating with all of us.
Yes.
So this is not the first time that we've heard this. And you also know what our ordinance is and what we had done in terms of the amendments to our recent ordinance, that we need all of these things to be processed indoor. And it is, we don't even allow red boxes out in our community. So we start to open some of these things up, they now become proliferation throughout our community. And if you want to do it, we told you can do it. It just has to be processed. You have to ask the school if you can process all of that inside the school.
Would you be open to like area drop, say, every so often, every month or two?
That'll also be a problem, Mr. Berg, because then you've got all of this stuff dumped in our community in some area, and if your truck doesn't come around to pick it up, now it falls on us to do something about it. And right now, we have a property maintenance code, and I think we need to see how that all works out as well. So you have been communicating with our community development director, Ms. Faulkner. You've communicated with me. You've communicated with every member of the council. And the thing is, we appreciate what you're doing, and we like what you're doing. You can do it. We also have a CUP process so that you can be held accountable for making sure that the items are picked up. So you can go through, we're not saying no, you just have to go through our process so that you can put your bins out and be responsible for them.
And I'll talk to, I know you guys have other things to do. Could I set up a meeting with you to find out where the CUPs are allowed?
Why don't you email Ms. Faulkner, and then you can continue that, because I know I've seen your communication with her as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing no one else, we'll move on. The next item is for emergency items only, and this is additions to the agenda. Ms. Faulkner, are there any emergency items to be added to the agenda?
None from staff, Madam Mayor.
Okay, members of the council? Okay, we'll move on. The next item is the consent agenda, and this is a group of items that's considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. However, an item can be removed from the consent agenda for a separate discussion and vote. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes an item to be pulled from the consent agenda to be discussed separately and to be voted on separately? Ms. Faulkner?
None from staff, Madam Mayor.
Members of the council? Members of the council, I have two items that I would like to pull from the agenda. One that I need to recuse myself from, and that is item E, so I'll speak to that. And then item F, and item F, I just want to pull it out so we can raise this new effort that's going on in our city that I think is really a wonderful business that will help our youth who are going through some traumatic experiences, whether it's with mental health or because of some kind of physical ailment. So I'm asking for E and F to be pulled, and I'd like a motion for the balance, please.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Coughlin makes the motion, second by Councilmember Sherry. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Members of the council, E is an application for the Church of the Risen Savior for a conditional use permit for a 75-foot tall communications antenna located on 1501 County Road 42 East, and we're asked to adopt the findings of fact and approve the conditional use permit. It came from the Planning Commission where the public hearing was held, but members of the council, I am a member of the Church of the Risen Savior, and so I must recuse myself from this vote. Councilmember Sherry.
Madam Mayor, if I may disagree, I don't think you need to, because you don't have any financial interest in that.
Well,
and the reason I say that is because a similar one came up at Mary Mother but I like you recuse myself because it's very clear then that you don't have an interest. Just saying that, I move that we do approve the tower. I looked at it. I watched the Planning Commission meeting. I think it will actually be a nice addition to that property.
Yes, it is, because now we have a bell tower.
It's a nice bell
It
tower.
balances out our bell tower on both
I know,
sides.
and I love the idea that antennas can be disguised.
Yes, yes.
So I make the motion.
Second.
Councilmember Sherry makes the motion, second by Councilmember Coughlin. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Council members, E is to approve an application for Jason and Jennifer Heath for an interim use permit for a private recreational use located at 2604 Loop Road, and we're asked to adopt the findings of fact and to approve the interim use permit. Ms. Faulkner, if you could have either you or someone on your staff speak to this. I just thought, members of the council, when I read through this, that what they are proposing is something that is going to be of, it would be a great asset to our community. And so, Ms. Faulkner.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, the property, the subject property is located in the southwest area of Burnsville. It's a rural residential area. We do allow horses and animals that we typically don't allow in the rest of Burnsville. So the Heaths are proposing an interim use in this area for what's called a private recreational use in our zoning district. And what they want to do is have horses provide therapy to challenged individuals, mostly youth. So there will be someone coaching them. They will be working with the horses, and it provides very good therapy. I believe the Heaths are here and can speak to this matter more if you're interested in that.
Yes. One of the things when I was reading through this background is that the youth will also be learning good work ethic, have a sense of confidence, self-esteem, and responsibility as they're working with the horses, because they're responsible for the horses. They're going to be responsible for all of that. And I thought this is really something that will help young people regain their sense of esteem and confidence. So I don't know if the Heaths want to speak more to that. Mr. and Mrs. Heath. I think it's called Heavenly Acres, and what a beautiful business you're putting in place.
I'll let my better half talk.
Well, we actually had taken guardianship of my husband's cousin when he was 13, and he had some learning disabilities and some mental health issues. And I heard about a program on the radio that used horses, particularly like rescue horses, to work with kids who had been either neglected or abused or had some challenges. And we looked everywhere at the time for a similar ranch in this area, and I couldn't find one. And now we're 10 years later or so, but now we just obtained this property about a year ago with the acreage. And so we feel led to kind of give a service that we didn't have access to, but have heard is very helpful to youth in this area. So.
And what's nice is that it's not something that you're just starting. It's a program that's being replicable
right
here, that you have researched and have done a lot of work
right.
and have seen the outcomes with what the results of to these young people. So thank you so much for bringing it to our attention. And you had good work with our staff on all of this?
Yes. Very good work, yeah.
Very good work. Yeah, Mrs. Mayor, I think you're exactly right when it comes to helping our youth of our community stop doing this, and actually, doing some work and, getting this big, beautiful animal to do something that when they, it's magic. It's really magic. And you talk about kids who normally don't smile and look down all the time. Now their self-esteem just gets huge, and they learn respect, and that's just something you can't learn in everyday settings. You have to be out in a different spot, and maybe with somebody besides your parents, to be honest with you, somebody that they can show and love on them. And horses are funny. They don't care what you look like, smell like. They don't care what kind of home life you got. They just love the fact that you're out there spending time with them.
And grooming them.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Sherry.
Madam Mayor, I agree with you. I think this is a very wonderful concept, and obviously it's proven, and I think the underlying philosophy of it is sound and uplifting. However, I want to make it clear to the public that the underlying zone, we are not changing any underlying zoning here, because we've had other groups come before us with very noble proposals and wonderful missions, so to speak, but they've wanted us to change the underlying zoning of a piece of property. We're not doing this here if we do pass this. So I do support it, and I will actually make a motion to approve this application, but I want to make sure that people understand that we are not changing the zoning on this.
Thank you, Councilmember Sherry. That's really great that you raised that so that people understand. This is down in southwest Burnsville, where they have a lot of acreage.
They can have a lot of horses anyway.
Yes, and they have a lot of acreage. Yes.
So with that, I do make the motion.
Councilmember Sherry makes the motion.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Keeley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Great, thank you. We now move on to the regular agenda, and the first item on the regular agenda is a public hearing, and this is to approve the wine license for Desjardins doing business as Na Sang Restaurant, located at 12621 Nicollet Avenue. Ms. Brooks, our city clerk, is presenting this item. Ms. Brooks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Council. Yes, this is a wine license for the Na Sang Restaurant. They currently have a 3-2 license, and this would be in addition to that. They've submitted all their application. Background investigation is not required since they have already had one for their other liquor license. All the necessary approvals have been received, and the license fee has been paid. We see staff has no reason to deny the license. This does require a public hearing for a new liquor license. I stand for any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Brooks? Seeing none, I will now open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this item? Anyone who wishes to speak to this item? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Members of the council, your pleasure.
Move to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Keeley makes a motion, second by Councilmember Coughlin. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. The next item is item 6, and item 6 is to approve the renewal of our off-sale, on-sale, Sunday on-sale wine, 3.2% on-sale and 3.2% off-sale liquor license. And we do this every year. Ms. Brooks is presenting this item. Ms. Brooks, this is the renewal of all of our alcohol license.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Thank you, City Council. Yep, the City Code does require us to have a public hearing every year. This is for our annual renewals. This year we do have a few changes. We do have Thunder Valley Bar and Grill that replaced the Burnsville Ale House. We have the High Five Club that replaced Primetime. Hurricane Grill and Wings replaced Hooters. The Rack Grill and Bar replaced Timber Lodge. And we have a new Steak America license. I believe it was the Old Asian Buffet before that. They did not have a liquor license. We have MGM Wine and Spirits on Highway 13 that replaced the Liquorville. We have U.S. Mobile and Walmart, which are new 3.2 off-sale licenses.
Okay.
All the fees will be collected, all the necessary documents, and all the any inspections or background checks will be conducted before any licenses are issued. No license will be issued if there's any reason found for denial. This is a public hearing. I stand for any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Brooks? Okay, there are no questions. This is a public hearing. I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone to speak to this item? Anyone to speak to this item? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Members of the council, your pleasure.
Move to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion, second by Councilmember Nguyen. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. I will now recess the Burnsville City Council meeting so the Economic Development Authority can convene its special meeting. President Keeley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I now open the meeting of the Economic Development Authority. Would please, Secretary, please note all commissioners are present. Do we have any additions to the agenda?
None from staff, Mr. President.
Thank you.
No.
Commissioners? Okay, on the consent agenda, we have one item. It's a really busy night here. We have our meeting minutes. Any discussion?
Move to approve.
Need a motion? Thank you. Commissioner Sherry, seconded by Commissioner Coughlin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to the regular agenda. We have a public hearing. First up is Mr. Skip Nienhaus, the Economic Development Coordinator, who is presenting the item tonight, which is a purchase development contract between Burnsville Economic Development Authority and Interstate Partners, LLC.
Thank you, Mr.
Nienhaus.
President. The item before you is the sale of what is referred to as the former AAA land. This is a site map of the heart of the city. This is actually a site map that was in the 2011 RFP for the sale of this land. The subject parcel is right here, noted as an RFP site. This is the heart of the city parking deck and the Burnsville Performing Arts Center, and then obviously the rest of the heart of the city. The developer who wishes to purchase the parcel is proposing the development of a hotel. It will have restaurant in it, 90 rooms. It will also on the second floor have meeting space that can be utilized. So it basically will have all the components of a full-service hotel. The actual AAA land that the city purchased in 2000 was 6.24 acres. The balance of the site is comprised of the PAC, the Med Cruise Cafe, and our parking deck, which leaves the 1.75 acres that we're discussing tonight. The county has that site valued at $457,600. The developer had the site appraised last May and received an appraisal of $737,000. The city had it appraised in August, and our appraisal was $865,000. The purchase price for the parcel is $503,600. This does not constitute a public subsidy, as the purchase price is more than 70% of the county's assessed value. The developer is also agreeing to pay the city $28,000 for additional parking stalls on Travelers Trail. Those will remain public stalls, and it is assumed that they will be used by the hotel employees. Again, the hotel will have at least 90 units, a restaurant, meeting space, and they will have 55 on-site parking stalls. The contract calls for a closing no later than October of this year. They will then commence construction next year. The contract calls for the construction commencement to be 90 days after PUD approval, with the PUD submittal occurring no later than the end of January next year. And they will be complete with their construction by April of 2015. The city's obligations on this purchase is to expand the existing parking deck, the heart of the city parking deck that sits right next to the parcel. There is also some outstanding assessments of around $33,000 that the city will pay. As mentioned, there's no public assistance sought in this. It is estimated that the hotel, when it is completely built, will have a value of about $3.5 million, which will generate $125,000 in total taxes per year. And then, as the EDA knows, there are some special HOC assessments that occur every year that this parcel will pay. The original Heart of the City plan called for a small hotel, a theater, public parking, residential, mixed use, and open spaces. Obviously, the only thing missing from the original Heart of the City plan is the small hotel, which is before us tonight. The hotel is consistent with the zoning in Heart of the City, and the hotel has been a stated desire by the EDA and the city and a number of RFPs that have occurred over the years. Our EDA attorney has drafted the contract. She is in the audience tonight and would be available to answer any questions regarding the contract. The developer has a representative here tonight that would also be available to answer any questions the EDA may have about the hotel. Economic Development Commission reviewed this at their May 8th meeting. They recommend approval. Staff also recommends approval. This is a public hearing, and staff would stand for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Nienhaus. Commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Couts.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Nienhaus and Mr. President, is the contract with Akoda Hospitality or Interstate?
Thank you for pointing that out. I was reading the wrong document. It is with Akoda Hospitality, LLC.
Okay, thank you. And then I have two areas that I want to address with this application. We have a closing date for the parcel for October 13th. But we will not be going through the process for their concept development or the development agreement until after that is done. So they're purchasing the property before they go through the process of development.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Counts, that is correct. That is very similar to all other purchases that we have. You may remember 2 weeks ago, we did approve a purchase by Interstate Partners, and the exact same thing will occur with them. We will go through the closing, and then they will produce a development and come through the development application with us.
One of the things that concern me, Commissioners, about this is that we have a hotel with the Interstate Partners. They already have a concept. They're going to have an office building, and I think they already have some partners in place for building that building. Am I correct?
Commissioner Couts, to my knowledge, they do not yet have the partners to build that development. They are seeking those partners to build that development.
Do we have a reverter clause for that one as well? I mean, that was really a really bad piece of property. This one is a very prime piece of property.
We have a reverter clause in both contracts. That's standard for all of our EDA
Can you
purchase
please
agreements.
speak to the reverter clause?
I'm
At what
actually going
point?
to ask our EDA attorney to address that for you.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that we're transparent on all things, because we do have a parcel that is sitting in the heart of the city, the Night Seed property, and that's still there and not being built. And we all understand that the economy had a great effect on that not going forward. But the thing is, what if there's somebody else who is going to be interested in building something? How do we go through that process in terms of the reverter clause? So that I want to understand what are the conditions within that reverter clause.
Sure. Mr. President, Commissioners, I'm Martha Ingram. I'm with Kennedy and Graven, and I am the EDA Special Counsel and drafted this agreement. I guess there are two things that I want to address. One is if you look at Section 3.3 of the contract, one of the preconditions for closing is that the developer does need to submit construction plans before closing. So there will be at least a preliminary process of seeing what they have in mind before the EDA actually conveys the property to them. So that hopefully addresses at least a little bit one of your concerns. As far as the right of reverter, the idea is that before, if there is any kind of event of default, and there are a number of specified events of default in the contract, prior to completion of the hotel property, then the EDA has a right to declare an event of default, to wait for the appropriate cure period, and if that default is not cured, the EDA does have the right to go back in and to revest ownership of the property in the EDA. When that happens, the EDA is required to use its best efforts to resell the property to another like developer or another developer that could do permitted minimum improvements, either similar to what was already agreed on in this contract or something else that would be an appropriate use on the property. And when that happens and the property would be reconveyed to the alternate developer, then the EDA would use the proceeds of that sale first to reimburse itself for any costs that it incurred in reselling the property, and then to reimburse the first developer for what it spent on the land to begin with, and any improvements that it had already constructed, to the extent the proceeds allow that. So that's the idea behind the right of reverter, and that is actually a statutory requirement. Anytime the EDA sells land for private development use, that right of reverter must be included in the contract, and all of the purchase and development contracts that we've done for Heart of the City and elsewhere in Burnsville have had that reverter clause.
Yeah. Ms. Ingram, I thank you for that, because it helps to make it clear to those of us. I mean, I've gone through this, but other council members are new and so have not heard that. And it's good for everybody to understand what that contract is like. One of the things, this is a hotel, and one of the information that I received was that a bank would also be looking at a hotel to have an agreement for a flag before construction. Is that correct? Is that part of the conditions in terms of the land, not only the construction documents, but the financing?
There is a precondition to closing that the EDA shall have approved whatever financing the developer needs to get to acquire the land and to construct the improvements. So if receiving a flag is part of what a bank needs to approve financing, then all of that needs to take place before closing can occur.
Okay. Because we need to make sure, I just don't want us to not be thorough with our due diligence. Because we need to be when we're looking at finishing all of this up, and everyone wants to see it become a success, and I'd like for it to be a success as well, so let's make sure everything is clear at the front end, because I have found that when everyone understands the playbook and what is required, then they will comply by it.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, and then and just knowing that everything that we do, because I just want to make sure people understand, they know that land was bought with grant money, and we also comply with all of the grant conditions. Ms. Ingram, do we?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge.
I just
yes.
want to make sure everybody knows this.
Thank you, Commissioner Couts. Commissioner Sherry has a question.
Yes, I have a question for Ms. Ingram.
Mr. President, if I could address Commissioner Couts' question regarding...
Please, Mr. Nienhaus, thank you.
The total AAA property was bought with partial grant money and TIF money. The parcel that we are talking about was not purchased with grant money. It was purchased with TIF.
Okay.
The part where the Performing Arts Center sits is what the grant money was used for, and we have met all the requirements of that grant.
That's good. I'm just glad that all of that gets very open and transparent. So thank you for making that clarification.
Commissioner Sherry.
Ms. Ingram, perhaps you can answer this question for me. And that is, that land's been sitting there for a long, long time, and it is now not generating any tax money. If that is sold to a private owner, it goes on the tax rolls at that moment.
It will indeed go
is
on
that
the
correct?
tax rolls, yes.
Even without any building on it, it goes on the tax rolls?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted that clarified. Thank you.
I just want to simplify, I think, what the mayor was at, just want to be reassured about in the reverter clause is that if in fact this purchaser does not perform any of the provisions of default, including not building the hotel, that in fact the property will revert back to the city. And
Yes.
that includes not building the hotel, and I think there was, what I understood is just some concern from the question the mayor asked that the property just wouldn't sit there and then be sellable, if you will, to a third party by the hotel property owner.
Right.
I mean, prior to building a hotel.
Yes, I will. One thing I do want to mention, and it is in the contract, but I think it maybe deserves being called out, is that if indeed the developer does get financing for construction of the improvements, which of course is likely because we're talking a fairly large sum of money, then the contract contains language saying that the EDA will approve subordination of that right of reverter to the holder of the mortgage for the financing. And that subordination agreement, I would be vetting, I would be approving the language myself, and then I would be bringing it to the EDA for formal approval. So you would have the chance to weigh in on any terms of that subordination. The practical effect of that subordination would be that if there was some kind of massive event of default on the part of the developer, the right of reverter is subordinated to the mortgage, so if the EDA chose to exercise that right of reverter, they would also have to pay off the mortgage. Real world implication is the EDA is probably not going to exercise the right of reverter, but the bank is then going to hold the property, and the bank is going to be attempting to resell it, and the bank will have to honor everything that the EDA wants done with it.
Thank you very much. At this time, before I start to open up the public hearing, I want to
Mr. President, one more question.
follow up, Commissioner Couts.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you, Commissioner Coughlin, for raising it, because when you look at the appraised value, and thank you for bringing that, I just remembered, because they cannot resell the land, because when you look at the appraised value at 756 and 865, it's large numbers. So once they own the land, they cannot resell it. That's in the condition of the contract?
If they attempt to assign or to convey the property to anyone else, they have to also assign the contract to that person. And whoever purchases the land has to do exactly what the contract says that the current developer is going to do. So if they were to sell it to a third party, that third party would be bound by the terms of this contract as well.
Okay. Thank you. Makes it clear for everyone.
Before I open up the public hearing, is there anyone from the applicant, Akota Hospitality LLC, that would like to make some remarks based on the current discussion?
I'm fine with everything that's been said.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. This is a public hearing. I'll open it up for any comments from the public to speak to this particular issue. What? People aren't lining up? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, any follow-up discussion? Comments? Commissioner Kaus.
Mr. Nienhaus, in the background you said that it was going to be is the Hilton Garden really a flag that's already agreed upon or not?
Mr. President, Commissioner Kaus, I would call on the Akota representative to answer that question for you.
Okay, because I think that's important because it's in the background. People need to know. Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Joel Carey. I'm the Executive Vice President of LHR Hospitality. And we're representing the buyer, the purchaser at this point, Akota Hospitality. It has not been agreed on yet with Hilton. We actually had meetings with them today, conference calls, knowing that we were going to have this meeting tonight. Normally in our business, we don't sign any documents with franchise agreements until land is purchased and we can get a plan put together to build a hotel. So we have not signed any agreements with Hilton as of yet, but they are our choice for this particular venue.
Okay. So after tonight, and they know that we're in this process with a closing October 31st.
That's right.
That puts it on a real world scenario for Hilton then to seriously look at the flag.
Yes. We actually have all the paperwork ready to go, and they know our timeline with you all. And once we get the land closed, then we would put the paperwork to work with Hilton and get it going. They're very excited about being in Burnsville, following with the I Love Burnsville theme tonight. They're really liking it. So the Hilton representative has been here twice with me actually, viewing the property. She's walked the site. She's walked all around, or been all around this town. We looked at all of the demand generators for Burnsville, all the businesses, etc. So they're very excited about it.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Follow-up questions from any commissioners while he's at the dais?
I'm
Thank
also
you.
a Burnsville resident, so.
Thank you.
You love Burnsville, too.
Yeah.
Commissioner Sherry?
I just have a comment that I'd like to make. I've been around long enough. I was on the Planning Commission when there wasn't any dirt turned yet in the heart of the city. So I know that that a hotel in that area has been a part of the vision, as Mr. Nienhaus pointed out. It's part of that history. I have seen the preliminary plans. I have seen how the development down there has gotten stalled. And personally, I think that this development will put petals on the chest of the heart of the city. And I think it'll get it beating again. And I'm really excited about it.
Thank you. A couple comments. As your EDA president, I am thrilled. I'll count myself fortunate to be presiding over our EDA at a time when we have a hotel prospect ready to sign a deal, close on a deal, and build a hotel in the heart of the city. It is something that we all here that have been up here for a while and even longer have been hoping for a very long time. To echo Councilmember Sherry's comments, this is very exciting. It is a very strong economic stimulus for the heart of the city to bring in a hotel of a Hilton Garden Inn or similar into our heart of the city. We did lose a few rooms when some of the area hotels remodeled and consolidated some rooms into some suites. Of course, we lost some rooms in our count with the Fanta Suites. And so with this going up in the 90 rooms, it doesn't take a mathematician to figure on the lodging tax boost that our CVB will receive as a result of this hotel going up, which is a good thing for the city, for our CVB. And I'm excited about, and I know I've talked to a few businesses in the heart of the city. They're thrilled that a hotel is coming. They're very excited about the prospect of additional business and traffic. And I think it's going to end up ultimately working very well with our Performing Arts Center as they work in tandem on bringing more attractions to our area. I mean, I think everybody has probably read the newspaper recently that the new Radisson that's gone up at the Mall of America was a big plus. Now there's another very large hotel that's planned to go up around the Mall of America. Burnsville needed to bring in a first-class hotel project, and congratulations to staff. Thank you very much on behalf of the applicant for bringing this project to Burnsville. It's a wonderful thing, and we're glad that you live in Burnsville and you love Burnsville too. Commissioners, I am looking for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Coughlin, seconded by Commissioner Wynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And the motion carries. Commissioners, we have nothing else on our agenda. I need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Sherry, seconded by Commissioner Coughlin. I did it once the whole time. I really watched myself. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Madam Mayor, EDA is adjourned, and we turn the meeting back over to you.
Thank you, Councilmember Keeley. I now reconvene the Burnsville City Council meeting. We are at item number 8. Item number 8 is the 2013 appointment to our advisory commissions and board. And members of Burnsville and our citizens, we held our interviews of all of the candidates, and we had a lot of wonderful candidates that came and said yes, that they wanted to serve, and we wish we had positions for all of them, but we don't. But we did our best to find the right people with the right skill sets for each of these positions. So this evening we are going to be making those appointments, and I will call on members of the City Council to make their recommendations. For the Heart of the City Design Review Committee, Councilmember Keeley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On behalf of the Heart of the City Design Review Committee, I would like to nominate Sandra Schlafer. I'll make a motion, sorry, not a nomination. Make a motion for Sandra Schlafer, Chamber member, to serve a term ending June of 2016. She is a current member who is reapplying. And for Dan Olson, as a design services member with a term ending June 2016. We have one opening that is unfulfilled at this point, unfilled that we need to talk about at a future council meeting in, as a resident member, which has a term ending in June of 2015. So tonight, a motion for Sandra Schlafer and Dan Olson.
Second.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion, second by Councilmember Coughlin. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Next is the Economic Development Commission. Councilmember Sherry.
Mayor and Council, I move that we appoint to the Economic Development Commission the following. Chris John, we move him from alternate, which he serves now, to regular member with a term ending in June of 2016. David Cherner, appoint to regular member with a term ending in June of 2016. And Sandra Coppin, appoint alternate member with a term ending June of 2015.
Second.
Councilmember Sherry makes the motion, second by Councilmember Coughlin. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Planning Commission, Councilmember Coughlin.
Motion to appoint John Corey, regular member, term ending June of 2016. To appoint Ben Tahari, regular member, term ending June 2016. Jim Bradrick, regular member, term ending June 2015. And finally, Paul Thomas as an alternative member, term ending June of 2014.
A second.
Councilmember Coughlin makes the motion, second by Councilmember Nguyen. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. The Performing Arts Center Commission, Councilmember Nguyen.
I make a motion for Sal Mondelli, who reapplied for regular member, term ending June 2016. Susan Holman, regular member, term ending June 2016. And Michael Shui, regular member, term ending June 2016.
Second.
Councilmember Nguyen makes the motion, second by Councilmember Coughlin. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. And the motion carries. Parks and Natural Resource Commission, Councilmember Coughlin.
Motion to appoint Maruf Roth, regular member, term ending June 2016. Sarah Kiefer, regular member, term ending June 2016. And finally, Stacy Johnston, alternative member, term ending June 2016.
Second.
Councilmember Coughlin makes the motion, second by Councilmember Sherry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, and the motion carries. Thank you. Members of the council, there are no other items to come before us this evening, and a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Keeley makes the motion, second by Councilmember Sherry. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Good night, and thank you for being with us.